Guys, welcome to the JennDanielle experience. Today I am so excited to do a sit down home video with you guys because we got to talk about what's been happening in the last year. This is my 2-year anniversary video, so I'll be sharing with you guys what has led up to this point and updating you on what's happened since last year, so stay tuned. Y'all, first off, welcome back. I cannot believe I have reached this point. Like, my attention span for hobbies is so short. So I am just shocked that I am still so in love with cruising and just love being here and love doing what I do. Like, I really do feel like I have found my passion and calling with vlogging and, sharing tips with you guys. So first thing I have to do is thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you subscribed yesterday or you've been rocking with me since the beginning days when we had no music in the vlogs, I just want to thank you guys and just say, like, I never take it lightly that I have subscribers / followers and people that look to me for information. And I just feel so blessed to have this platform, and I'm just so excited about what's to come. So I actually just watched the video from my 1-year anniversary, and let me just tell y'all right now, nothing I said in that video happened. Like, I did not do any of that. So I am hoping and keeping this as like a way to lock myself in and look back and judge myself in a year. I am hoping that I do the things I talk about. But I think the first thing I need to do is kind of tell you guys how we got here and pick up from that last video. So if you didn't watch it, I am going to link it in the description and probably somewhere here in the video so that you guys can go watch it after you finish this. But just to kind of recap what was going on. So it's my first year of solo cruising, and the way I got started was that in 2021, when we were like coming out of the pandemic, and I was just overworked, tired, like completely hated my job, and was honestly a little depressed. I decided to take a solo trip for Thanksgiving. Instead of going home to, be with my family and be around people, I just really kind of wanted an opportunity to recalibrate and really kind of start my own tradition, because I had like a lot of negativity surrounding the holidays from like being in a relationship and, starting to see people get engaged and things, because that was something that I really wanted at that time. And so, I was dealing with jealousy and all of that too. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go on this trip. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to celebrate myself and my accomplishments. So y'all, I was like popping bottles on this solo cruise and everything. Well, the content ended up taking off when I got back. And there were a lot of other women that connected and felt like, they wanted to start solo traveling, or, they were having issues and dealing with seasonal depression and all of that around the holidays. So that's how I got started. Like, this thing was by accident. It definitely was not planned. And so that's kind of how we got to this point. So last year I was talking about trying to set up my first group cruise, and I was getting ready to go on a Carnival Celebration. So let's talk about the celebration first, because I have never really sat down and talked about this, and I was hoping that I would be at a place where I would want to talk about it in detail. And even though it's been like close to a year, I'm still not there, but I will just kind of give you guys a little snippet of what my plans were and what happened with the Carnival Celebration. So I was really excited about celebrating my 1-year anniversary and going on the Carnival Celebration, which was the inaugural sailing. So when you think about a brand new ship coming out, it's kind of like for vloggers, the race to put your content up first, because you're going to get all these extra views and possibly like grow your audience and everything and be able to connect with other bloggers. So I purchased this cruise. It was the most expensive cruise I had purchased at the time, January of 2022. And, waited 11 months for this cruise to happen. So I was really excited, and I really thought that this was going to be the opportunity to like change my life and set my channel on fire and just really kind of pushed me out and established me as a creator. Well, I did not know really that my grandmother was as sick as she was. And sadly, she passed away right before I left for that cruise. So, and when I say right before, I mean literally like her funeral was November 14th, or she passed away November 14th. We had her funeral, I think the 19th, and the cruise began the 20th or 21st. So I like went to her funeral on a Saturday night, flew out to go home to Atlanta to pack my bags and everything, and come for the cruise that next day. So understandably, like I really did not care for the cruise, but not went. My family convinced me to still go because everybody knew like what a big deal this was to me. And, you know, we had kind of established like my grandmother would want me to go on this trip and still, you know, have a good time. And to be honest, it was just so heavy because this was my first like close loss, and I feel like I'm really fortunate in that being 30 to lose like the first like close loss to me was experienced in my 30s. And you know, she lived a beautiful life and loved my cruising videos, and so it's always kind of been a connection for me there with connecting my videos to her and the relationship that it helped us to establish. So I'm going to always forever be grateful to cruising for that. But for me, understandably, even though I wanted so much for this cruise to be, you know, like my previous one in 2021, and to really like propel my content creator journey, I just emotionally could not do it. So I did vlog the entire time. I didn't really mention what had happened or how I ended up. You'll see at the beginning of the vlog because I'm going to repost it this year because that vlog needs to get its love. And I really want to dedicate that trip to my grandmother. But you'll see that it was just kind of, it was very choppy. I did a lot of sleeping. I was exhausted. I do feel very fortunate that I was able to spend the last like 5 days or so with my grandmother, like nonstop. And so I was happy, but I was exhausted by the time I actually made it on this trip. So, yeah, so we're going to reshare Celebration and kind of share all of that. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because, you know, I look at that as the bigger picture of why what I do is so important. Because I know there's so many people that have lost family members or, you know, struggle around the holidays. And so it goes into like whether it's about previous relationships, families, you know, just anything that has happened for me, like it's about trying to find your happiness and being appreciative and celebrating those moments. So it's very big and very ironic to me that my grandmother's passing and my anniversary, my cruise anniversary, are like so close together and so tight knit. And so this is going to be a time of celebration for her. So it's speaking of Carnival Celebration. So yeah, so that was kind of what was going on during that series. So I was so tapped out, just so tired and just drained the entire series. And to be honest, that really since that moment, I feel I have honestly up until like the last, I'll say month, just kind of been going through the motions. And I have seen like, y'all know, I'm a believer. Like I believe that God is managing everything in my life and that things are working for the greater good. But I also believe that my grandmother is up there working. Because when I tell y'all, like, I have always been a hard worker and I have been at this content thing much longer than just the year of, well, I won't say content. I have been at trying to be an entrepreneur before I started creating content. And things have not moved and opportunities have not come like they have this year. And I can tell you, like, I work hard. I have been working hard, but I have honestly been just trying to just go through the motions and just, you know, dealing with so much. Like every positive experience I've had, I kind of go through like a little wave of sadness because she's not here for me to talk to her about it or to see it. But I honestly believe that she's seeing it, and I honestly believe that she is working with the Lord to get this stuff moving. Cause y'all, it's just been completely amazing what has happened in my life the last year. So, Kind of getting into what happened after Celebration. So that was November of last year. December, I created 2 reels that went just completely viral out of nowhere over the Christmas holiday. So I did my first day trip to Miami. With the day trip, I flew to Miami like first thing that morning and came back the same day. And so what I really wanted to do was show people that, may have never seen the beach before, or just, don't have the time to get off work, how you can take a day trip and it be cost effective. And I also was working with Takeoff Luggage, which you guys know I love, love, love. And I'm actually their social media manager now. I don't think I've ever publicly said that anywhere. But I work directly with them as far as selling their products as an affiliate, and I'm also their social media manager. So much has come out of that relationship, and I'm so grateful for that. And that's probably one of the biggest things that have happened for me this year. Like, despite everything you see, I am probably most proud of the relationship I've built with them, because I was able to come in, first off, see that product before it had really spanned across social media, and really build that relationship with them where they trusted me to, show their product while I was on this day trip. So it's been just so much that has happened this year. So during Christmas, that day trip video kind of kicked off because I did that at the beginning of December. And then there was another video on TikTok that was just showing the fullness of the airport. And so Christmas hits, I have like these 2 viral videos. I'm watching my followers grow, my page grow. And in the meantime, I reach out to Virgin Voyages, which I have emailed probably 6 months prior to this point, and they finally approved working with me to come out and do like a sponsored trip. So that happens in January. So when I tell you guys, like, these things started like moving back to back to back. For me, like, it's crazy. That's why I say, like, it's definitely supernatural powers that are working here. It's not my doing. So fast forward, I go on this Virgin Voyages trip, have an amazing time, come up with all these ideas for creating the content, and ends up the video that I want to go like super viral is not the one that catches. It's the very first video I create for this trip, which is so amazing, because if you all would have seen me before I took this trip, I was so afraid, because first off, I didn't want to fail. Like, I was like, they're giving me this trip and I want to show this cruise in the best light possible. I had already cruised Virgin Voyages once, like August, the previous August, but I didn't do it solo. So it was a totally different experience. And so I do this video, and my day 1 video like hits. And when I say it hits. Like, I put it on TikTok, and I had like 10,000 followers then. I don't know, but I definitely did not have a large audience, like a super large audience on TikTok. Post that video, y'all. It gets like 2 million organic views like that. Like, I mean, in a matter of days. So I'm excited, and I'm just like so shocked that this is happening. So I post the same video on Instagram, and it's like moving there. So both of these platforms are just going insane. But like I was saying, like, I'm going through that phase of like, every time something positive happens, I'm like still in this process of grieving my grandmother. Then, y'all, on top of getting like all of those views, and of course more traction brings about more trolls too. So I'm getting some of the worst comments and worst personal attacks that you would ever see come through. So I'm excited about, watching my content grow and knowing that I did a good job on this. But at the same time, I'm like dealing with the emotional turmoil of like dealing with grief and still being in the early stages, as well as like personal attacks. And y'all, I'm so sensitive. Like, when I tell y'all, like, I am so insecure about being on camera, but like, y'all, they were tearing me up. They were tearing me up in them comments. I can laugh about it now, because now I guess that's the good thing. It was so much, so fast that like, I don't even allow that stuff to like penetrate anymore. It's just like, alpha comment, delete, keep it moving. So yeah, so all of that happens, and in the meantime, the post does so well that Virgin Voyages reaches out to me, and they want to put more advertising behind that ad or behind that post, and so they push it out even more, and so now it reaches like 14 million people, which still blows my mind to this day that that many people have seen my face. And so then I kind of become known as like the solo traveler. You know, I have like the thing that happened December. So now it's like the end of January into February, and that happens. And I'm getting like this just rush. Just every time I open my phone, it's just thousands upon thousands of followers. And I go from like maybe 30,000 to where I am now at like 70 or 80,000, something like that. So, I mean, it's just like I'm watching just massive, massive growth quickly. So from like February to, I will say, July, I have my head down, I'm grinding, I'm trying to figure out how I can continue to make content and make this work for me, because honestly, like I'm telling y'all, I'm just going through the motions, and I'm like so kind of checked out of everything that I was just like, I love what I do, but maybe I need to like work a job, because y'all know I do this full time. Which I actually was just supposed to take a year to just breathe and find something I loved, but travel has just been just enough to keep me in the game as an entrepreneur. That's a whole nother story though. We're going to talk about that in detail too. But in my mind, I'm kind of like, you know what? Let's just get a job. Let's just kind of manage this on the side. I now have the platforms. I can start to work with brands and all of that. And so I'm working with brands like within those months, but it's so inconsistent. And one thing that I think enough people aren't talking about when it comes to working with brands is that a lot of times the terms and payments are net 45, net 90, and a lot of times that's business days. So if you think about working and you don't get paid till 90, 120 days after you've done the work, like nobody can live like that. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what to do. So, the social media manager now, so that's helping to get me by. I'm doing my affiliate marketing thing, which is like really, really getting me by. But, at the end of the day, I'm just kind of like, whatever, because I would say like I have seen my success, and I understand that I have like worked to get to these certain points. But in my mind, everything is a fluke. And that is something that I have just recently, and I mean like recently, like in the last couple weeks, after this whole Tyler Perry thing, have come to understand that these things are not happening by chance. Like it's coming from the work that I'm putting in, and it's coming from the grace of God that's put over my life. So yeah, so I'm going through the motions. July comes around, I have my next cruise. So I don't cruise from January, from the time Virgin did the sponsored cruise, up until July, because I have my Melanin at Sea cruise on the Carnival Venezia. And so I'm super excited because I have so much love and respect for Melanin at Sea and Richard and Jasmine, that they've been able to start that whole platform. So I'm really excited about getting to cruise with them again, because I met them for the first time on the celebration, and we kind of had talked on social media and everything. But this cruise ends up being amazing. I go have a good time, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, when you get back from this cruise, you got to get a job. So when you get back, July, whatever we got back, like 18, 19, like you're supposed to be applying for a job. So I get back and everything from the trip. I start posting my content. I'm looking through, trying to figure out like, what am I going to do to enter the workforce again? And how I'm going to manage this and everything. And then August 1st, so like 2 weeks later, Virgin Voyages reaches out, and they're like, hey, we want to invite you to a trip to Greece. Y'all, I'm like, Greece? I have never flown internationally. You guys will see, go back and watch those videos too. So this was my very first international trip, and it's like sponsored by this brand that I love. They invite me out. Richard Branson is on this cruise, and who is the CEO of Virgin, not just Virgin Cruises, of like Virgin Records and airlines and everything else. So I am just like, wow, wow. So I'm like, well, we can't apply for a job yet. We back in the game. We got to go on this Greece trip. So I go on the trip to Greece and everything, and come back. And I'm like, man, so now it's September. And so I'm like, okay, maybe we can slide through and keep this thing going. So in between this time of like June to September, I get like a couple of really huge brand deals. I get the biggest one that I've received to date, which was with Deer Park Water. And I'm just doing like multiple things and things are starting to pick up. So I'm like, okay, maybe, just maybe we're going to be okay. But I'm still like in the back of my mind, like I'm just tired of the inconsistency. I just like it's so hard for me to get on camera and vlog because I just feel like, I mean, I feel like my content is decent, but my channel isn't growing. I don't just love YouTubing and vlogging. I don't love talking to the camera about my life. What I love is sharing information. And if I'm not cruising, if I don't have the finances to cruise, what information am I going to share? So, you know, all of these things, y'all, like, and it's kind of funny to be talking about this because I'm still like in the midst of this. Like, I feel like I have had a shift in the last couple of months, but I am still very much working through all of these things in my head and working through understanding my abilities and understanding my place in life. So yeah, so that happens. I do that in August. September, I apply to cover the Woman Evolve conference, which is Sarah Jakes Roberts' conference. Her husband, Torrey Roberts, is there, TD Jakes, and all of these other huge speakers. And I look to them really as my spiritual leaders. Like I follow them on YouTube. Like every week I'm watching their sermons and just, you know, really learning and understanding the Bible through them. Because I mean, this last year, if nothing else, I will tell you, I have had to grow in faith. It's been a faith-based year for sure. And so that's probably one of the biggest positive things that have happened out of everything that I've been through this year. So, so yeah, I was telling y'all, so I ended up getting invited to go out to cover Woman Evolve. So I go to Dallas and do that. So that's September. So now I'm coming off Greece, going to the Woman Evolve in September. October rolls around. I'm in this program with Meta, and y'all, I don't even know exactly how this happens because it's so crazy to me. But I end up finding, I think I saw a post of someone else in this certain group for Meta, which is formerly Facebook. And I signed up to be a part of this Black Creator Program. And the offer comes up to visit Tyler Perry Studios, meet Tyler Perry, and like be a content creator, you know, for this event. For Ambassador Nicole Avant, who was actually handpicked by President Obama to be the representative of the Bahamas. So she is a big deal in herself, but we all know Tyler Perry. So yeah, so I get invited to this event and I'm just like, finally, honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I go to the event and I realize that this is a big deal, but in my mind, I'm like, Tyler Perry's not really going to be there. You know, I'll get to go to Tyler Perry Studios, cover this event, do this exclusive thing, but he ain't going to be there. Y'all, Tyler Perry is there. And I'm like, girl, you should have known. This is freaking Meta that invited you to this event. So I meet Tyler Perry, and in my head, like, I'm still like, this is a fluke. How did I end up here? Like, I'm going through all the imposter syndrome. I'm going through everything that you can possibly go through of like, I'm just here by chance. And I really hate that my mind was where it was in that moment. And y'all know this is very recent. So this is just like, I'm maybe 2 or 3 weeks out from doing this event. So it's still very fresh. And like I said, like I'm still kind of working through everything. So I get the pictures back. And so their official photographer takes the photo and everything. I get the pictures back from the event and I just started crying because I'm like, this is an experience that you can't buy. You can't walk into a room and just be there with Tyler Perry, who, regardless of how you feel about, you know, his films and all that, like what his story, what he's done for like Atlanta and what he's done for Black Hollywood, Black culture is just out of this world. And so Look, y'all, I'm getting emotional now just thinking about it, but it's been an ongoing thing for me, like watching my life just shift and just prepare, because I know where I have been mentally, and I know why I've been there, and I've still managed to continue to go on. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I said I was not gonna do this. And I've just been able to just stay afloat. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like everything in this year has just been me staying afloat. And so what my goal is for the rest of this year and for year 3 is to really be tapped in. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for the experiences. I'm always grateful that you all trust me, and I'm always shocked you guys trust me to be a resource. I'm like, I mean, who am I? Like, what do I know? Like, what have I done? But I'm always extremely grateful for where I am and what I have seen happen, because it's just been like that saying where they say, like, you could be going hard for 10 years and that 1 year that changes your life. I feel like this is that 1 year. And I think a lot of that can be attributed to me just trying to deal with grief and understand grief and being more appreciative for life after seeing life end. Yeah. I'm on pause here because this discussion, like, I want this to be real, and I want to share this, but this honestly, like, the tears you guys see, it's not sadness. It's not even tears of overcoming. It's just tears because I forget. I forget everything that has happened over this year and how much I've had to fight to continue to live out this dream I have of being a content creator. And so to reach this point has just been, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Yeah. Ugh. Maybe we will keep it recording because, okay. So that is the story of how we got to Tyler. Look, y'all, Tyler Perry. The story of that, because that moment for me was just realizing, like, you have made a mark. Like, seeing the followers grow, seeing the invitations to these different places, to be in these different rooms with these people that I respect. It shows me that I'm on the right path, and it shows me that I belong here. All right, y'all. So I'm back. So that is a recap of where we've gotten in the past year and kind of the highlights of what has happened. I'm sure there's been a lot of, like, little wins and things that have happened in between that kind of propel me to this point that I probably can't think of right now. But what I really want to talk about is how excited I am for what's to come in the next year. So with me starting my tradition of cruising Thanksgiving, I decided this year to open it up to my followers to come with me. So I am getting ready to host my very first group cruise. And I don't know if you guys saw in last year's video or remember, I was really down and embarrassed to really kind of talk through what happened, because in August, when I went on my first Virgin cruise, I was like, this would be a great cruise to bring people along for next year. And so I tried to schedule it, and there are just some things that happened. I was trying to hire out a travel agent to help me kind of piece everything together, and I just really wasn't happy with the way things were done. And so I ended up having to train to become an agent myself so that I could lead the group cruise the way I wanted to and just give my followers the attention I feel like they deserve. So I did that and re-put this out. And so it's kind of funny because last year I was like so sad to tell y'all I canceled it. Well, I tried again. And I guess after this January, after I went on the trip in January, I came back, repitched the idea to my followers, and ended up getting 30 people to sign up. So y'all, I am scared to death. Hopefully y'all don't see this. Hopefully y'all don't see this before the trip, but y'all probably will if you follow me on YouTube too. But I'm getting ready to lead my very first group trip, and I'm so excited. I'm scared, but I am so excited because I want this to be such a life-changing experience for other people, and I really want to share the love I have for this brand, not even just because of the relationship I have with them, but just because of the growth that I've experienced myself, and like the luxury of cruising Virgin. So I'm really excited to share this Thanksgiving with a group, even though I was kind of like on the fence, like this is really my solo, like my personal solo date and solo cruise that I kind of kick back and take time for myself. But I'm like, I just came from Greece. I didn't even know that was coming, but I've had enough time to myself, and I'm just excited to share this with other people. And I hope that if anyone else is dealing with grief around this time of year, or dealing with any kind of like negative feelings around the holidays, I hope that this is a beautiful experience for them. So I could not be more excited, and it really did kind of like make me smile and happy to see that last year I was embarrassed to tell y'all that I had to cancel my trip, and so not even like a full year later, not only is it scheduled, but it's about to happen. But y'all know that's how God works. That's how God works. You don't see why things are working out the way they are, but yeah, so that's getting ready to happen. And my goals, really, like my biggest goals for next year is really to continue on the path that I've been on and be more present and more understanding as to my journey, and more understanding that I belong in this space. I want to be more confident as a creator. I want to share more information about tips and how to do stuff, and really help other people grow through this experience, because I'm definitely growing through it. And so I want to see other women grow and just feel happiness, like regardless of being single, regardless of, whatever's going on in their lives. I want them to just have that confidence and have just things that they can look back on and smile. Like it sounds basic, but that's about as basic as it is. I want to spread happiness. The world is super heavy right now. There's so much going on in the world. And, you just add that with what we all deal with, and we all have a journey. We all have a story. We're all dealing with personal battles that people don't know about. And so I just want to help women feel happiness, like regardless, and just be their best selves. So yeah, that is pretty much my ramble and recap of the previous year and where we are now. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Anything you guys want to know a little bit more about, let me know in the comments, and I will definitely respond. But it's only up from here. Like, let's go. Year 2. See you guys in the next video. Bye.